The journey from Bolton Street Station, 180 years ago, as long as that, may have started something like this. Although the British Rail steam loco here was not developed until the 1930s, maybe a little bit earlier. British Rail wasn't, established at that point. Just look at the size of its wheels though, and the size of them. I think they weigh at least a couple of tons each. Like I said, they weigh 100 tons, some of these trains.
UK, 3 videos at a time.
So this is the next section as we go along the canal, and it starts with these reservoirs or fisheries. These are for the manor house on this land, or the estate of Phillips Park Hall. The British loco, by the way, was 44871. If you want to search that particular loco, just type that into the internet, because we're not going to go into the rail system just yet, or the electrical trains. Anyway, the fishing lakes are no longer used. I guessed it was a filter bed at first, but it's not got any pipes, and the dams are very shallow and long, so it traps the fish in each lake. It's also lower down than all of the other buildings on the site, or on the estate, so it made sense to me. Elementary, my dear Mancunians. So we're continuing towards Salford here, but we're not travelling there just yet. First, I have to go back along the trail. This line is the next viaduct after Outwood Viaduct. We saw that previously in the last video, but the canal is to be explained. So from here, the journey is to return back up along the Salford Canal. It's going to go to Knob End Locks. So up on top of the viaduct, the view is the river and the motorway. That's the M60 ring road. The disused canal is situated to the left, just below my finger, which pops into view, and it's behind there's a factory we can see as well. The trees growing on top of the viaduct here will eventually destroy it, of course. The roots expand inside the structure, and the water freezes, and it will defrost in the gaps, so it corrodes. So this is the Salford section of the canal. So the Salford section of the Manchester-Bolton buried canal is buried in there. It runs behind the old sewage filters, which had been resited as the motorway cut through the old treatment facility. There's a small train also ran along, and this was the main road at one time to Prestwich from Ringley. over the other bank, there's another canal. We'll go into that in more detail in the next video. It flows parallel to this canal, so the section to the right of the Irwell. You may note that this canal is now on the left of the Irwell. The Bury section of the canal is on the right, respectively. That I'll explain at Presterly Aqueducts in the next video. Also the name of the other canal and the reasons for that canal being there. This area is Bingley and Presterly Quay locks are nearby.
Okay, Manchester UK, just to prove I am actually here on site, I am filming in the middle of the third storm so far in 2020. So that's where the old train line crossed. The canal is nearby, Bury to Bolton and Manchester Canal. That's where the railway crossed, and the Irwell is down in between us and the motorway in the far distance, which is obviously the most modern system for transport.
So do be careful if you go wandering around in anywhere like this. You could fall in a small pond, for example, if it's full of freezing cold water. You know you've had it if you're stuck in there on your own in the middle of the night. There's deep shafts, also sinking sand. They're toxic, also little pools and things underground. From the Industrial Revolution right into the 1900s. Some of the chemicals that might be in here will be lethal if they're there. Thing is, we don't know what is in there, so don't go wandering around if you're not sure. I'm sort of sure what I'm doing, as I said, and it does worry me a little bit when I can't see under the ground what I'm standing on. So even I'd be cautious in a place like this. And as I say, I sort of know what I'm doing.
Just to let you know, I have walked the length of the viaducts, which is one of my ambitions in life. That's how sad things can actually get sometimes. But you can't film the trees growing on the top. I don't think it's very safe for a train, but it's still sturdy enough. Okay Manchester, there's no point in filming up here. We've got the motorway, the pylons, as we know, they follow the canal. So we're going to head off back towards Bury on the canal, get some sights there.
It's evening, so I'm not going to carry on filming. I'm just going to do a bit of scouting, as I usually say. I'll show you the new sewage works, which replaced this old chemical works, which is disused due to the motorway going through it. But like I say, this is a very old-fashioned old site with a lot of chemicals were going on in this area, a lot of chemical companies. Yeah, so this is a good site where we will continue the journey from next time. So we can explain where the railway goes. We've not missed anything from the railway, by the way. It's a straight line straight through those woods until we got to the 13 Arches viaduct. Solid rock over on the other side there on the bank of the Irwell. So we'll discuss that next time also. Also, point of interest is that we've probably followed the Irwell about 7 miles in total throughout my entire, all my videos that I've done. Starting up at the Irwell Burrs Weir, which is actually attached to this Salford Canal that's next to me, and the river is also the same river, so it flows all the way down here and it's still within a metre of one another. Not far down from here there is a bridge which crosses over the Irwell, and there's also an aqueduct for the canal, which then joins to the canal I mentioned over the other side of the Irwell. So they then become one canal and continue down into Manchester Whether the aqueduct is still there, we'll have to find out. So we'll investigate that next time. So anyway, for now, we're at the side of the Salford Canal. As I say, a local told me that I can get in here and have a good poke about. There's some evidence of the canal further down. So hopefully we'll get the aqueduct, some of the chemical works, and more evidence of both of these canals matching up in the next video. Oh yeah, I'd just like to add, I always say, electrical pylons, they follow the canals. Now there's an old-fashioned version of an electric pylon. Yeah, so it always seems as though electric pylons are just in the middle of nowhere. If you're driving along in your car, you might be in a field nearby. They're always in straight lines. What it is, they tend to follow the old infrastructure as it was. So canal lines and railways that are no longer in existence. So I don't know how logistically they would probably, so they could repair the electric cables and things like that and carry them on the trains and the canals. So how they fix things like that now, I'm not sure. They probably have to use four-wheel drives and stuff to go out into the fields. So the original best laid plans are now, disused. So I suppose when they upgrade the electrical pylons, they will move them from where they currently are. In fact, I think we will see evidence of that at the end of this short video. I think they are building a new electric pylon. Tempting, isn't it, to just pop over and have a look at that water system there. And we'll see some of the canal, the Salford section. It's in a rather sorry state. The only bit I found that has any water in it, you wouldn't even know it was a canal, or even it looked like a very poor guy, or just a pool of water. But this is actually the canal.
Feels a little bit like the sewage works maybe in the area, but I'm not sure. Maybe. Oh yeah. That's what I suspected. The water cause was. So there's a water treatment works and it's returned to the Irwell via that water structure. Right, well, we're talking to Stephen Goddard now. And that's how the water is returned from the sewage plant. And it ends up at the waterfall at the bottom. I'm not going to film it today. I'm so tempted, I'm getting drawn down. There's 4 channels. It goes under the road from there. And there's only me, I think, would get this excited over a water treatment facility. That's why I'm not going to film it all. You've seen, it's mainly a joke to end on. But all those tanks are filtering all the dirty water in Manchester, and that gets returned to the Irwell. I can explain each and every one of those filter systems, but you will be bored to death, I am sure. Manchester, UK, 3 videos at a time with Stephen Goddard. This is like my day out. It's like a day's holiday to me instead of a Blackpool. And that's an empty one. Old Ringley Village. I'm walking about a mile now. Anytime I see construction, I always have a poke about near the Irwell. And there's the Manchester Salford Canal again. This is all that remains, by the way, bits like this. Okay, bits like what? Bits like that. And that's it. And that's what proves I'm in the right way, right area. So now along the canal once again, as I suspected, at least a mile away. Manchester, UK. 3 videos of time. So this is the Salford section, by the way, of the canal.